did a peaceful hike turn into a nightmare for two young girls in Delphi, Indiana? What seemed like an ordinary afternoon would soon become the center of a tragic and mysterious case that still haunts a community to this day. Today we delve into the heartbreaking and perplexing case of Abigail Williams and Liberty German, two young girls whose lives were tragically cut short in 2017. Their story is one of friendship, innocence, and a cruel twist of fate that left a small town shattered. Abigail Abby Williams, 13, and Liberty Libby German, 14, were best friends living in the quiet, close-knit town of Delphi, Indiana. Delphi, with its population of just under 3,000, is the kind of place where everyone knows everyone, and the community is like a large extended family. Abby and Libby were no exception to this sense of familiarity and belonging. They were known for their bright personalities, a shared love of photography, and a deep bond that transcended their young age. Abby was a creative and intelligent girl with a passion for art. Her drawings often depicted scenes from her imagination, brimming with color and life. She was also known for her infectious laugh and the way she could light up a room with her presence. Libby, on the other hand, was equally vibrant, with a keen interest in sports and a natural talent for softball. She was outgoing, curious, and always looking out for her friends, particularly Abby. The two girls were inseparable, often spending their free time together exploring the world around them, whether through the lens of a camera or on one of their many adventures in the outdoors. Day of the disappearance. It was a cold Monday afternoon on February 13, 2017, when Abby and Libby decided to spend the day outdoors, exploring the scenic Monon High Bridge Trail. The trail, part of the Delphi Historic Trails, was a popular spot for locals, offering picturesque views and a serene escape from the everyday hustle and bustle. It was a day off from school, a perfect opportunity for the girls to enjoy some time together. Libby's older sister, Kelsey, dropped them off at the trailhead around 1:30 p.m., unaware that this would be the last time she would see them alive. The plan was simple. The girls would spend a few hours hiking and taking photos, something they both loved. They were supposed to meet Libby's father, Derek, at a designated pickup point later in the afternoon. However, as the hours passed and there was no sign of the girls, concern began to grow. When they failed to meet Derek as planned, the family's initial worry turned into fear. A search was quickly organized, involving friends, family, and local law enforcement. But as night fell and the temperatures dropped, hope began to wane. The next day, on February 14, 2017, the search took a grim turn. At approximately 12:15 p.m., searchers discovered the bodies of Abby and Libby in a wooded area near Deer Creek, about half a mile from the Monon High Bridge. The location was secluded, off the main trail, adding to the eerie and unsettling nature of the discovery. The news sent shockwaves through the community, as the realization that two of their own had been taken in such a brutal manner began to sink in. The circumstances surrounding the girls' deaths were immediately shrouded in mystery. Law enforcement officials were tight-lipped about the specifics of the crime scene, a decision that only fueled public speculation. Despite the lack of details, one thing was clear. Abby and Libby had been victims of a heinous act of violence. The discovery of their bodies marked the beginning of a complex and challenging investigation, one that would captivate the nation and leave an indelible mark on the town of Delphi. Initial investigation. The investigation into the murders of Abby and Libby was launched swiftly and with a sense of urgency. The Delphi Police Department, Carroll County Sheriff's Office, Indiana State Police, and the FBI all joined forces in an effort to track down the perpetrator. Despite the overwhelming resources dedicated to the case, progress was slow, and the lack of public information only deepened the mystery. One of the most significant challenges faced by investigators was the decision to withhold details about the crime from the public. This included the cause of death and any specific evidence found at the scene. While this approach was intended to protect the integrity of the investigation, it also led to rampant speculation and a sense of frustration among the public, who were desperate for answers. However, it wasn't long before a critical piece of evidence came to light: evidence that would become central to the investigation and capture the attention of the nation. On February 15, 2017, just 2 days after the girls were found, law enforcement officials released an image and a short audio clip that would become iconic in the case. The image was a grainy photograph of a man walking along the Monon High Bridge, dressed in a blue jacket and jeans, with his hands in his pockets. The image had been taken by Libby on her smartphone, likely just moments before the tragedy occurred. Along with the photograph, a brief audio clip was released. In it, a man's voice can be heard saying the words, "Down the hill," a chilling command that would haunt the investigation for years to come. This evidence suggested that Libby had the presence of mind to capture video and audio of the suspect, potentially providing crucial information that could lead to his identification. The image and audio clip were shared widely, with law enforcement urging the public to come forward with any information that could help identify the man in the photograph. Despite the widespread circulation of the image and audio, identifying the man proved to be a daunting task. The quality of the photograph was poor, and the man's face was obscured, making it difficult to discern any distinguishing features. However, the release of this evidence sparked a wave of public interest and involvement, with thousands of tips pouring in from across the country. Years passed, and the case remained unsolved, with the haunting image of the unknown man and the chilling words, "Down the hill," serving as a constant reminder of the tragedy. The investigation continued, with law enforcement sifting through thousands of tips, leads, and pieces of evidence. Yet, despite their best efforts, the identity of the killer remained elusive. Then, on October 26, 2022, nearly 5 years after the murders, a significant breakthrough occurred. Richard M. Allen, a 50-year-old man from Delphi, was taken into custody and later charged with 2 counts of murder in connection with the deaths of Abby and Libby. The arrest was a moment of both relief and shock for the community. Richard Allen was a familiar face in Delphi, having lived in the town for many years and worked at the local CVS pharmacy. The fact that the suspect was someone so close to home added a new layer of complexity to the case. As details of the arrest emerged, it became clear that Allen had been on law enforcement's radar for some time. He had even come forward in the early days of the investigation, claiming to have been on the trail the day the girls went missing. However, it wasn't until later that evidence linking him to the crime was uncovered. The exact nature of this evidence has not been fully disclosed, but it was enough for authorities to formally charge Allen with the murders. The arrest of Richard Allen marked the beginning of a new chapter in the Delphi murder case, a chapter that would play out in courtrooms and capture the attention of true crime enthusiasts and the media alike. The legal proceedings surrounding the case have been filled with twists and turns, revealing shocking allegations and raising new questions about the events leading up to the murders. One of the most controversial and unsettling claims to emerge during the court proceedings was the suggestion that the murders were part of a ritualistic sacrifice connected to a group practicing a form of Norse paganism. This theory, presented by the prosecution, was met with disbelief and outrage by many, including Allen's defense attorneys, who vehemently denied any involvement in such activities. The defense argued that these allegations were not only unfounded, but also designed to prejudice the jury against their client. As the case moved forward, the defense sought to discredit the prosecution's theory, pointing out inconsistencies and gaps in the evidence. They argued that Allen was being used as a scapegoat and that the real killer was still at large. This back and forth between the prosecution and defense created a tense and dramatic atmosphere in the courtroom, with the fate of Richard Allen hanging in the balance. Throughout the legal proceedings, the families of Abby and Libby remained steadfast in their pursuit of justice. They attended every hearing, their presence a constant reminder of the real victims in this case. The community of Delphi also rallied around the families, offering support and prayers as the trial unfolded. The case, which had already taken so much from them, now demanded their strength and resilience as they awaited the final verdict. The murders of Abby and Libby have left an indelible mark on the small town of Delphi, a place where the ripple effects of the tragedy can still be felt today. The sense of safety and security that once characterized the community was shattered on that fateful day in February 2017, and in many ways, the town has never fully recovered. In the years since the murders, the residents of Delphi have worked to honor the memories of Abby and Libby, creating memorials and organizing events to raise awareness about the case. The Delphi murders have also had a profound impact on the broader true crime community, with countless podcasts, documentaries, and news outlets covering the case in detail. The image of the man on the bridge and the audio of Down the Hill have become symbols of the unsolved mystery, capturing the imagination of millions around the world. Despite the arrest of Richard Allen, many in Delphi remain cautious in their optimism. The trial has yet to provide definitive answers, and the community is acutely aware that justice, while important, will never bring back the two young girls whose lives were cut short. For the families of Abby and Libby, the pain of their loss is a constant presence, a wound that time has not healed. However, they continue to find strength in the support of their community and in the hope that one day, all of their questions will be answered. The Delphi Murders is a case that has captivated and haunted the nation for years. The tragic deaths of Abby Williams and Liberty German, two best friends whose lives were filled with promise and potential, remain a source of deep sorrow and unresolved questions. While the arrest of Richard Allen represents a significant development, the case is far from closed. The trial and its revelations have added new layers of complexity to an already enigmatic story, leaving many to wonder what truly happened on that cold February day in 2017. As we reflect on this case, it's important to remember the victims at the heart of it all. Abby and Libby, two young girls who deserved so much more. Their story is a reminder of the fragility of life and the darkness that can sometimes invade even the most peaceful of places. What do you think happened? Do you believe justice will be served? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more true crime stories. Your support helps keep these stories alive and ensures that the victims are never forgotten. The unanswered questions. While the arrest of Richard Allen has brought some answers, many questions still remain. What was the motive behind the murders? How did Libby and Abby encounter their killer? And what led them to that fateful moment on the trail? As the trial progresses, we may learn more, but some aspects of this case may forever remain a mystery. This uncertainty is perhaps the most difficult part for those who knew and loved Abby and Libby. The desire for closure, for a clear narrative that explains the unimaginable, is a natural human response. Yet in cases like this, the answers are often elusive, and the full truth may never be known. This leaves a void, not just in the lives of the victims' families, but in the community and in all who have followed the case closely. The Delphi Murders is a story of loss, but it's also a story of resilience. It's about a community that has come together in the face of tragedy, a group of people who refuse to let the memories of Abby and Libby fade. It's about the determination to seek justice, no matter how long it takes, and the hope that in the end, the truth will prevail. As we continue to follow this case, let's keep in mind the importance of empathy and understanding. Behind every headline and every piece of evidence are real people, with real pain and real loss. Let's remember Abby and Libby for who they were, two vibrant young girls who were loved deeply and who are missed every day.